So I'm kind of curious because I think the thing that you guys have been working on the most recently is like tutorialization and new player experience. It's certainly something we've seen updates about, and it's something that you guys have talked about kind of pretty heavily recently, especially on the Bay 12 blog. So I'm kind of curious, where's the kind of status of the tutorials and how are you feeling about them where they're at currently?
We're done with the main,
Yeah, the starter ones.
Yeah, the ones that would make a newbie kind of turn off the game. Like we're getting past that part.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we're just getting into you'll survive the first year if you can follow this tutorial.
Yeah, there's a lot left to do, but they're not hard to. I mean, they're hard to write if you want to do a perfect job, but they're.
We did pretty good with the camera controls and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like there's just a lot of
how to dig down because you have to learn how to dig down, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ramps and stairs, right? Like
yeah.
Tutorial on the difference.
Yeah, it's no fun. It's no fun having to explain that, but hopefully people can get over. I mean, that's why we're focusing on that as the hump. It's like feel like people just understand the camera and understand a little bit about stairs. They can start to tackle the rest of the game themselves. Like at least have a chance, right? Because the 3D thing is so weird. Like the way we did 3D. At least now they can see. Like you have like the ability to see multiple layers, so that they should understand what a hill is pretty fast. Whereas in the ASCII version, like in vanilla, like if you're not using one of the mods, the ASCII version is just kind of this weird strip with like these triangles that where the hill is and stuff. That's like it's a little hard to fathom. So I think hopefully people will get it.
When a brand new player launches Dwarf Fortress Premium, freshly purchased off of Steam or itch.io, what is the game going to present to them? Like, what's that initial startup phase going to be like? Like, how does it walk you into playing the game the first time?
Yeah, so we have like, I mean, obviously there's the title screen and that kind of thing, but then there's just a big button that says create new world, right? And now when you click that, it takes you to like you have to get through world generation. And I think people have some experience with that generally. I mean, we played a number of different games, all kind of like you can survive a settings screen that has some boxes. If there's a little pop-up that tells you, hey, this is where you are.
There is a little pop-up.
There's a little pop-up. Yeah, we already have the little pop-up that tells you, hey, this is the deal. And then you've got preset settings that are all great. It's not going to be, it's like a medium world. That's one of the reasons we're focusing on world gen speed, making sure that they can squeeze at least 100 years out of there without, even having an ounce of panic. Just medium world, 100 years, everything set up down the middle, and another big button that's like, okay, let's go, let's make the world. And then world gen's a little friendlier now because the world map looks nice, of course, but it's not just like counting the dead like it used to. It's just like there have been this many deaths. And now it's got the news ticker, which I think is, leave people interested enough to get through that part. And then the other thing that's super important.
News ticker is like a reading.
Yeah, the chronicle. Like in the year 70, a forgotten beast destroyed this fort, and it's just kind of ticking up. It updates every few seconds with the most important thing that has happened since it last ticked. So once your world gets older, you start to see more books and stuff in there because once world gen gets down to like 2.5 seconds a year or whatever, then sometimes the years like nothing super duper important happens, or it's actually running weeks at a time at that point. And it'll do like 2 or 3 ticks per year, and you'll get some less interesting things. But in any case, you get to the end of that, and then the other key thing here is it doesn't dump you to the title screen like it used to. There's a big old button there that says, let's play now. And it doesn't have to. Yeah. You play now. You click play now, saves the world, and then it pops you to embark. And then you have a giant window that says, do you want to start the tutorial? And you can also, there's also a big red button you can skip tutorial. So once you get into the tutorial, you're safe. I think that will hopefully get people there. It is a strange game. It is a strange intro. So we've been thinking about it, and we'd like to make it even better than that. Anybody who's got bright ideas, pitch them our way. But it's getting there.
So, but before I started talking there, I feel like I kind of stumbled over Tekid. So if you had something you wanted to say, go ahead.
Oh, it's pretty much the same thing. I was just going to ask if if the learning curve in the past for Dwarf Fortress had been like just a wall with a moat in front of it, then, now what would you call it? Which is pretty much the same question. It sounds like now the learning curve is a roller coaster that drags you up really far and then might dump you, perhaps. But I'm not sure. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
It is comparable to other games. I think it is really. People are going to be surprised at how easy Dwarf Fortress actually is to play. It's just really, really complicated, and they, they'll have to figure it out as they go along. But I would not call the learning curve like incredibly bad anymore, especially compared to other games that are out there now.
I think it also really helps that, a little game called Clanfolk released into early access yesterday, made by the Space Pirates and Zombies developer, which is taking so many ideas from Dwarf Fortress and RimWorld, and there's so many of these little games out now that are like take ideas from Dwarf Fortress. Maybe they don't quite have the same level of anything as far as like the insanity of the world generation and the history generation and a lot of the things that makes Dwarf Fortress interesting, but because they take a lot of ideas from Dwarf Fortress, a lot of people I think have spent the last like almost decade potentially now playing games from The Sims all the way to RimWorld and Space Haven and Oxygen Not Included and all of these other games kind of around the fringes that are, teaching people like the basic skill set of management in order to manage a fortress of dwarves, even though they haven't realized it yet.
Yeah. Just looking at this, it just reminds me again that like the 3D layers is our big thing to overcome. I mean, there's like a few, like Odd Realm, right, that has 3D like slicing and stuff.
Odd Realm has the pretty much the same Z level system, except there's only 60. But
yeah. So that will hopefully. I mean,
The rest of them they have paved the way.
Yeah.
So people are not going to get confused by the workshops and all that stuff. But the 3D, but that also sets us apart. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, these are nice trees. Nice lighting. I like the lighting in Clanfolk. Like just lists of things that we're not going to be able to support with our weird tile system. Very hard to do lighting with the way I've got things set up. I mean, speaking of a larger project that we might be able to even ponder doing after launch would be trying to get me out of my weird tile setup. Like
all the sprites are the same size as the letters because it has to use the same grid that it's using in the ASCII.
Yeah, there's so many weird shortcuts I had to take just to keep the engine together that hopefully we'll be able to overcome.